We are at a time now where we're going to be unfolding TISHA B'Av. TISHA B'Av is Hebrew transliteration for the ninth of Av, Av being the month was the ninth. And what this day represents is a day when bad things have happened to the Jewish people. But in particular, the focus is on the destruction of the temple. First, destruction of the temple occurred in 586 BCE on the ninth of Av. The temple was rebuilt. The second destruction of the temple took place in 70 CE on the ninth of Av. There are many other events that have occurred on the ninth of Av that have been what we call bad things happening to Jewish people. We're told that even when the spies went into the land to spy it out, when they came back with the evil report, that was on the ninth of Av. Just a plethora of things have occurred to us on this particular day. And so what has occurred is that the rabbis set this day aside as what is called a minor fast day. Minor fast day. It is not equivalent, of course, to any of the high holy days that we celebrate. But then it's not a celebration either. It's a day of mourning for the destruction of the temples that have occurred. And it's a day where it is customary that we fast. But now we have a conflict. And the conflict is that this is occurring on Shabbat. And then not only that, but there is another thing about it. And that is that Shabbat is the highest holy day. When it comes to, again, your high holy days, of course, we're going to say that it is Yom Kippur. But the reason why Shabbat Vayinach is your greatest holy day is because we do it more than any other Shabbat during the year. We do it every seventh day. So it becomes the greatest. Which means that what is going to occur, and that is that halakhically, Shabbat Vayinach is going to out-trump TISHA B'Av. So now we have to talk about how can we balance this out so that we can observe, because the observance of our history is essential, but then at the same time, be correct when it comes to our unfoldment of Shabbat Vayinach. So the things that we have learned concerning this, and that is on this minor fast day, is that what we do is we come to the synagogue, we would go through the prayers, we do not use a machzor this time, and we would sit on the floor in our right, we would fast from evening to evening. But we can't do that. We can't do that. So what we have to do again is to balance it out. So what do we do? Well, again, first of all, you have to understand that this day is set aside for mourning. That's another thing. We're not permitted to mourn on the Shabbat. Does that make any difference, what kind of losses we have experienced when the Shabbat comes by, even if we are setting Shiva. But when the Shabbat comes, we can't mourn. We have to come out of it. And so that's not permitted. So the only thing that we have left is wearing white. So that we want to do. But since the mourning is not permitted, then what do we do? Remember what the mourning is about. The mourning is about, again, the destruction or the shattering of the temple. Now, I want to look at something, go right back to this board and think about something. We go all the way back to the beginning of the development of the human conscious experience, so that what will occur is that this hidden sparkness on the inside of us will manifest on the outside. That's what the goal is about. The goal is about becoming one with God. That's the goal. But the reason why we got to become one with God, we got to think about something. And that is that when we fell through the barrier, what happened was shattered. Yeah. In other words, everybody at one point knew that we were one being that was made up of many souls. We fall through the barrier and shatter. So now we have this experience of egoism. And in the egoism itself, what occurs is that we feel this isolation, we feel like we're wrong. But that shattering is necessary. And the reason why it's necessary is so that we could become like him. And in order to do so, we have to have, again, free will or volition. So at this thing, we don't have any free will. We are, again, an individual aspect of him, so what we have is his will. So he wanted us to have free will, and the only way that that can occur, again, is if we would choose something that he wouldn't choose. So he places out there in the Garden of Eden, free, knowledge of good and bad. Says, okay, don't need it. He knows we're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not this idea that, we are not going to do it or something of that nature right there. He knows that we will do it, but what that will do is it will create volition or free will. And that's going to be very important to understand. Because again, in Jewish spirituality, a lot of times people say, well, this thing is like, I ain't really got no choice. He's giving me my thoughts, the events that are going on in my life. He's planning them, and he's not planning them for our failure, but he's planning them for, again, us to be able to unfold this goal. So then you go, well, if all that is being, again, manipulated, then where's the freedom? That's where it is. What occurs when you reach your highest level over here is that you do have sovereignty. Let me say that one more time. You do have sovereignty. Over here, you don't have volition and free will. Often I'm asked, the question, because the thing again is so predetermined, then where is the freedom? That's where the freedom is. Here, you have it. Over here, you don't have it. And so now it's going to make quite a difference, again, from this experience to this experience, but what had to happen for that to occur was shattering. Shattering, okay. So the shattering is what is represented by the destruction of the temple. I want you to remember the history. The reason why the temple was destroyed both times was because of Sinat Kinam. That is Jews hating Jews. That's the reason why it was destroyed both times. So the temple is an expression of our unity. And when it is destroyed, it is an expression of our disunity. So the destruction of the temple both times, is an expression of our shattering. An expression of our shattering. But it was something that was necessary. The shattering was necessary so that we can have what? Free will. Let me say it one more time. The shattering was necessary so that we can have what? Free will. Free will. This ability to choose. So if the shattering of Adam and Shaw was necessary, then the next thing that you have to understand, and that is that the destruction of the temple, both 1 and 2, was necessary. It was necessary. Why? Because it wasn't about us building a temple made out of stone, but it was about us reconnecting to one another and having a temple in that way. Yeah. Very important to understand that. Yeah, this was necessary. Breaking up. Why? Free will. Destruction of the temples, same exact thing, because if you don't destroy those temples, then you don't come up with a third temple. And we ain't talking about building a temple made out of stone, but we're talking about the connections that must occur between us. Right. As Israel, as Jewish people. Very important for that to occur. And remember, if you look over here on this chart, as we're going through the process, when we get ready to make this ascension into, again, pure soul consciousness or Olam Haba, the entire thing doesn't unify first. What unifies first is the Jewish people. And it sure don't look like it, do it? It don't. It doesn't look like it. Very important to understand. It doesn't look like it. Matter of fact, because it doesn't look like it, there's some bad predictions on us. And I won't talk about them right now. But again, it's going to happen because it's a part process. Part of our process. So that means that there is a way of observing this day and still being in harmony. And that is not to mourn for this day. Not to mourn the destruction of the temple, that was necessary. But rather to yearn that our relationships would be built again. So what we have to do is, like we do with every other thing, is a time where we have to transform something that's on the inside of us. By virtue of the fact that we are doing this on Shabbat and we're not permitted to mourn, but we still got to go through this. What do we do with it? We transform the sadness that we have about the destruction of our temple, and we begin to understand that it was necessary so that the third temple can be built, so that what we do is we yearn for the building of the third temple. Yeah. This is why Jewish unity is so important. So important right now. We have a tendency to go in and out of this unity. In other words, we build a connection one day, next day I see you, it's broken. Yeah. Just that simple. That's what happens. That's the truth. Because it's very, very difficult to build these connections in. When I talk about the difficulty, I'm not really talking about the difficulty of me trying to get together with you, but the difficulty of making the ascension into this corporate consciousness that we need to make the ascension into in order to be unified. Let me say one thing and then we'll close this down because the rest of it comes tomorrow. This is the last one. Okay? To make the ascension means that I have to come into, again, the revelation that I'm one with God. I got to come to that. That's the real unity. Any other unity built on anything else is going to be corporeal. Remember, we build unity by having something in common. Yeah. And the thing that we have to have in common in order to build this unity is the understanding that I'm one with God, but there's something about that. See, this thing of being one with God comes in 2 points, or 2 parts. The first part is realization. When I talk about realization, what I'm simply talking about is I have the assertion that I am one with God. I don't have the manifestation, I don't have the sensitivity, I don't have the feeling of being one with God. But the one thing that I do know, and that is through the teachings of Torah, that I am one with God. So that's just realizing it. But once I realize this, then I have to actualize it. The actualization of it is what we call this correction. And what am I doing when I'm really correcting? I'm really revealing that the soul that I am is supernal in nature. That's what the correction is really about. Which means that I can observe this day yearning to do that. This ain't a kumbaya day. You know, a lot of times we just want to sit around fire and kumbaya. You know what I'm saying? Yearn for that right there. You know, and that's a superficial relationship. The true relationship is to experience actually being one with God. So that it's not something that somebody just told me. That's just a revelation. But it's actually something that I experienced. And so, between realization and actualization, I need yearning. I need yearning. So I can realize I'm one with God, and I still have this pull to corporeal things that are not spiritual. Still have this thing that goes on with me, but in order for me to be able, again, to continue in the journey, there has to be a yearning for it. Yeah. Again, that's the thing that you're going to constantly see with what we're talking about. There's a difference between a person that says, okay, I'm one with God, you know, Shabbat Israel, I'm one with God. There's a marked difference between that and the actual experience of that. Oh, yeah. Marked difference. One more time. There's a marked difference between realization and actualization. See, a lot of people haven't realized it. You can tell them, they still haven't realized it. Some of them are, you know, they in their mind, they go, oh, maybe something of that nature right there. But see, it ain't supposed to stop it. It ain't supposed to stop it. It's not until you move into this actualization that it actually begins to manifest itself. Yeah. You can hear about it all day long. And just hearing about it might not mean anything. But once you hear about it, maybe I should say it like this. If you are Israel, if you are a Jew, because a Jew is not this. That's right. If this is a Jew, then guess what? If you go on the regular course of man, there's going to be a time when you're not going to be a Jew anymore because it's going to fall off. And then you put it somewhere in the ground. It ain't this. Something much, much deeper than that. That's what we have to understand about this. So again, I want you to think about something. You can't fast. You got to have a good time. Now, you know, we ain't going to be running around talking about this is a cod. This ain't a cod. TISHA B'Av is not a cod. Not. But there is something that we can do. And that is, and it'll be right in line with what we do on Shabbat anyway. And that is to focus on yearning the one with him. The interaction. Nothing greater than that. Tell me. Turn your mourning into yearning. Not going to be looking and going, oh my God, it's destroyed. And, you know, they even got people running around right now on the planet. Talking about we're going to build this third temple now, and they're going to different locations. I had one of the people that's going through conversion ask me, you know, we're going to get ready to have a bunch of Jews come over there and talk to them about that, all that nature, like, should I go? I had to remind them, hey, ain't you love God? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? It's all about us coming back to, again, truth about it. That we just want to be. It's all about that right there. Again, the yearning that we are to have. Nothing should be more important to you than to unfold what's permanent. Nothing should outcome. So we turn our mourning into yearning. Yeah. Especially on this day. Yeah. So what does that mean? We eat. We laugh, we talk. We move towards that direction. And what's going to remind us again that this is TISHA B'Av ain't the one thing. You know, if you ain't got on white, we just got white with Talib. So. I don't want nobody to feel bad behind this, because that ain't what it's about. Right? Not. If it was on another day, we'd be doing something different. But today, five, we ain't fasting on Shabbat. We doing nothing like that. I'm saying, ain't more than anything. Can't do it. But there is something that I can do, and that is, I can be, I'm not gonna make you feel bad again, I can be in my uniform, okay? And I can think about one thing. What is the most important thing? And that is to come what you are. Yeah. To yearn for that. Never be satisfied in anything else. Less. Never be satisfied with anything else. It's less. Never. And for one thing. And that is the goal, isn't it? I made you in my. That's the goal, isn't it? That's right. It's one thing. And when you get it, look where you put it. Put yourself. That's right. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. 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 I'm Israel Kai. 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 All right.